Matty, it's really nice to meet you in person. That feels quite special, having done so much of this over Zoom over the last 18 months or so. First few weeks as a Robin, how's it been?
Yeah, it's been great. I've settled in really well. I kind of feel like I've been here for a longer time than what I have. It's only been probably around 6 weeks, so I think that everybody here has welcomed me, with open arms, and obviously the fact that I knew a couple of players and the gaffer and one or two of the staff, that always helps. So I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I'm just looking forward to getting started now.
Has it kind of met your expectations of what you were expecting?
Yeah, I think so. I think certainly I mentioned it in one of my first interviews. Just the facilities in general have been, that exceeded my expectation, and it's been fantastic to get used to these surroundings, because I know it's been new for everybody. And like I said, I have enjoyed every moment of it so far.
For people that perhaps haven't heard, what attracted you to this club in the first place? What made you want to come to Bristol?
I think the fact that I knew the gaffer, Nigel. We had a conversation, and I know what he wants and know what he expects from his players. But then also I think that the ambition from the club, this facility, new part of the stadium, I think they are moving in the right direction and trying to do it the right way. So I think that as a player, you always want to play with ambition and hopefully try and reach the next stages of your career, and obviously help the team do that.
I know you've sort of said already that perhaps Robins fans need to have a bit of patience. Do you kind of see this as being the start of a longer term project?
Yeah, I think so. I think in football, things go up and down very, very quickly, and I think the kind of investment that was probably made, and obviously it didn't kind of succeed in the first kind of couple of years, but I think now, the manager's got a renowned, for getting himself into the Premier League and holding a team in the Premier League. So I think that it doesn't happen overnight, and there's been change at the football club with players in and out. So I think patience in football is something hard to ask for, but at the same time there has to be an aspect of realism as well. But I think for us as players, we're just trying to go out there, win games, and the Championship's a crazy league, and you just never know what happens.
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of unique to Bristol City that this season is going to be a real challenge.
Yeah.
How do kind of the squad feel? How's the mood in the camp, knowing that there is going to be some real tough battles ahead this season?
I think the fact that fans are back is also one of them things that's very exciting, because football's not had them. So I think we're excited to play in front of them. We're excited to try and get them on our side as quickly as possible, and maintain a good standard, obviously at Ashton Gate, and that I think comes from 100% effort every single game, because that's the minimum that you can do. I think there are going to be losses and they're going to be wins. So I think as long as we're obviously positive and like I said, realistic, then I think we'll have a good season.
Obviously, it's your first home game at Ashton Gate, the first home game for fans to be back after 18 months in big numbers anyway. What are you expecting from it in terms of the atmosphere?
Yeah, it's going to be a strange situation, because we're used to kind of coming in and you walk out and it's kind of like walking out onto the training field, but just in a stadium. So it will be a little bit different. You get the pre-match back, you get to see fans probably before the game walking in, filling the streets, that kind of thing. So it does kind of bring memories back, because it does feel like a long time. But for us as players, we're excited, and hopefully we can get off to a very, very good start, and like I say, get them bouncing at Ashton Gate.
How difficult is it as a player to try and create that atmosphere without the fans there?
It is hard, because you're trying to do it in the dressing room beforehand. You kind of talk about stuff, but then you go out and it just changes. You go 1-0 down and there's no cheer for the opposition team, or there's no cheer for you going 1-0 up. So it's one of them, you try and have to create it yourself, and as players you want to win, so you just try and breed the winning mentality to no fans or fans, and hopefully obviously that's what we can do with obviously the fans coming back.
Of course, tomorrow's going to be a particularly strange, Saturday's going to be a particularly strange one for you. Your younger brother Reece signed for Blackpool. You've never played each other competitively at any level?
No level. Literally, we crossed paths at Man United very, very briefly. He came into the reserves as I was leaving to sign for Leicester, but we never played together, or I don't think we even trained together. So it's one of them things. When the fixtures come out, I thought someone was joking when they texted me saying you're Blackpool first. We were actually together, and obviously when they come out at 9 o'clock, I was like, wow, we were kind of hoping for a little bit longer in the season. I get settled, he gets settled, and then we kind of come together. But the fact that it's at the first game, big positive for me that it's at Ashton Gate. But for my family and obviously Reese's family, our family should I say, it's going to be an emotional day. Like I said, my dad kicks every ball, mum kicks every ball, so it's going to be a strange one. They're all in the Bristol end, so Bristol City end, and looking forward to the game, I think, and we'll catch up obviously after, hopefully with 3 points.
Can you give us a bit of an insight into sort of some of the conversations between you and Reece?
Yeah, I think we've kind of said, how's your training going? Yeah, it's going well. How's yours going? Yeah, it's going well. And we're not really getting into too in depth about anything. It's just one of them. I'm enjoying being at my new club, and Reece is enjoying being at his. So I think that's another strange thing, that we both signed for new teams. We're both entering new chapters, and the first game is against each other. And Reece is renownedly known as a left back, but he has played in centre midfield as well, and there's a possibility that he could easily play in there, and we kind of come against each other in the engine room. So it's going to be an interesting day, that's for sure.
And for your family then, tell me who's coming of friends and family.
Yeah, so we've got obviously my dad and his wife are coming, my mum, my auntie, got cousins coming, uncles, we've got obviously my wife, my two boys, my wife's family, Reece's wife's family. So we've got quite a few coming. It's going to be an occasion, but it's one of them that it's the first time, so hopefully we come out of it unscathed, as my mum's asked. That's what she's asked. Just make sure you both come off the pitch. That's
and
what
how does supporting work?
I think. I don't really know. My dad's he was looking for the old half Bristol, half Blackpool, half Bristol, half Blackpool shirt, and he's sat. Obviously, I put him upstairs, so he's going to be sat on the halfway line. So for him, I don't really know. I think he's going to have to go with Bristol City for the home game, and he's going to have to go with Blackpool for the away game. I think that's the only way he could possibly look at doing it. He's asked for a 1-1 draw, and obviously I don't want that. So that's what he's looking for. But we'll see. It's going to be a good day.
And after the rest of the season, then what does kind of success look like for Bristol City?
I think success for this team is building much better than how it finished at the back end of last season. I think it's coming out and trying to maintain the start that they had and not kind of lose it through the middle and the back end. I think it's more, can we become a team that people say that's going to be a difficult game, and that we know what we're in for, and we find an identity to our play and our game, and hopefully see where it takes us. We're not going to put any kind of positioning on it or any goals on it. I think it's just more go out there and obviously hopefully perform and see where it takes us.
And when you see people, saying that they think Bristol City are probably going to be in a relegation battle, how do you sort of take that and use that?
Yeah, I think I was at Barnsley for the start of last season, and people said that Barnsley were going to be relegated to finish in the playoffs. So I think it's one of these leagues that it's very, very difficult to predict anything apart from sometimes the top three coming down with their budget and holding on to some of their Premier League players. Outside of that, it is very hard to predict, and we just kind of deal inside these four walls and just make sure that we understand what our roles are each day on a Saturday or Wednesday, whenever it may be, understand our jobs and try and pick up as many points, because in the Championship you play on a Saturday and then you've got the opportunity to rectify it or build on it on the Tuesday, which is 3 days later. So it is a gruelling league, and I think we've had a good pre-season and we're ready for the start of it.
All the very best.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Hi Matty, just a couple of questions.
Yep.
I think Gary's magnificently covered pretty much
everything. Yeah, no worries.
How excited are you for the first game? Because for football fans, it's a little bit like Christmas Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
That feeling.
I think it is for the players. I think for us as players, we've missed the fans, and it isn't. People say you try and recreate it, but it's very, very difficult to. Football fans belong in stadiums, and players need the fans, and I think fans obviously want to see the players. So I think for football, it's great to see, and hopefully, it does remain throughout the whole season. Touch wood, and there's no kind of spikes and anything else, and we do get a solid season of fans, both home and away. Because when you go away, sometimes the away fans can galvanise you, and you can pick up points away from home just by your away support. And yeah, I think we're just as excited as the fans, 100%.
Just picking up from one of the questions that Carrie gave you, just what did you make of Ashton Gate last week? And obviously it was a difficult game against Villa, a lot of quality in there. Obviously no Jack Grealish, but John McGinn and other players.
Yeah, I think for us as a last pre-season game, it was a good test, and I think for us it was more about getting familiarised with your surroundings as well, because I've not played there for a long time. Some of the other players haven't been there due to injury for a long time. I think it's just so that you understand, obviously on game day come Saturday, you know where you're going, and get used to the pitch and the surroundings. And I think that the game was a good game. I think we got quite a lot out of it, taking the scoreline away from the game, and we come out with some positive things and obviously things to work on. So it was a good test, and it was a good last training game, as we call it.
How much do you know about Blackpool away from your brother? Obviously, they're a team that's just been promoted.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they might have that little bit of extra momentum, as sometimes we see clubs?
Yeah, I think so. I think the team's obviously done exceptionally well to get out of League One. It's a difficult division to get out of, and I think that the manager's done amazing there. For me personally, I don't know huge amounts of them. I've seen them with little bits with Reese's games last year, but we've done work on the training field about this team, and like we will do every other team. But you've got to give credit where credit's due. They have got out of the league, and I think they will have some sort of momentum, and hopefully we can halt that come Saturday at 3:00.
I know you just asked this, but I'm going to ask you again.
Yeah.
What can City do this season? What's the word amongst the players? And do you guys look at where the bookies say you're going to finish?
Yeah, I think people like the question that was just asked there. Then people talk about a relegation battle and things like that. I think every year there's always some sort of talk between the bookies and press and things like that. And I think sometimes it comes with the game. And for us, we've not said. Honestly, we haven't said anything. All we've said is we need to perform this Saturday. That's the start in the building blocks for us. We then have a game, in the cup on the Tuesday, and can we build on something each week, each game? And I think it's important, like I said, for us to find our identity and find exactly what we need to do to build on the way that it finished last year. And like I said, stranger things happen in this league, and you can put a few wins together and it rockets up in the table. You get a few losses and all of a sudden you're straight back down. So I think we just need to be more rounded as a team and as a group.
I can imagine a big thing this week would be the team selection as well.
Yeah.
Obviously you might be selected to play this weekend. What's it like on the other side of the fence if, say, maybe you're one of the guys who aren't selected to play this weekend? What's your mindset got to be?
I think I've been on both sides of that. Started the first game and obviously not started the first game. So as a player, you just have to prepare for both. And if not selected, you support your teammates straight away. You be ready, because football, your position could go down in the first minute. You might get injured in the warm up. If you haven't mentally prepared and you've sulked, or you're just thinking, he doesn't like me, then you could go into that game and that could be an opportunity lost. So I think one thing that the gaffer is key on is the environment, this building, making sure that everybody's pulling in the right direction, and that the 11 are selected, but the team is 18, and subs are going to be needed whenever they're needed, and you have to be ready. So for me, if I am selected, if I'm not selected, I'll be ready either way, and I think every other player knows their role in that as well.
Just finally, on one of your former Leicester teammates, Dave Rennie, Nigel said in midweek he was as good a signing this summer for Bristol City as any player. What have you made of him since you obviously know him so well from the Foxes? What kind of impact has he had?
I think he's had a massive impact. I think if you speak to some of the players, about him, I'm sure his name will pop up, and they're very, very impressed with obviously how he's gone about his work here. And I think he's also getting the best out of the other staff that are here, because obviously they're doing a fantastic job as well. But me personally, to Dave, he's helped me through so much, not just from a physical point of view, but also a psychological point of view. He's also been almost like a part-time psychologist at times because of the injuries that I went through. So for me to explain to some of the boys, obviously, as well, what other attributes he does have, and I think the gaffer's got that spot on. I think it is like a great signing for him and for the staff, but also for the players as well.
Hopefully so. Good luck with the new season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.